Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. New sponsor, same law firm, same group, same gang, but we changed our name to Drake Law. And the reason why is because we wanted to create a different entity because Glenn Fagan, the prior owner of Deters Law, has some health issues. So we had to create a different entity to keep continuing the battles. Everything stays the same. My role stays the same. We battle on. You can reach me. I know I'm the person you want to talk to. You can text and email me anytime you want. Also, Parks Yoga. In addition to that, check us out on all of our platforms. Well, the big news is, will he or will he not? And I don't usually do this, so let's do something a little unorthodox. Let's check the news right now and see if there's anything up to date on what's going to happen. All NYPD cops will be in uniform today in anticipation of Trump's arrest. Stormy Daniels ramps up her personal security. Now they're talking about indictment maybe Wednesday. Folks, I want to just say something to you. Last night, I watched on Tucker Carlson Bob Costello, who testified yesterday to the grand jury about Michael Cohen. This guy has got credibility to kill. And you know what the thrust of it is? The thrust of it is, in 2018, Cohen is telling him, his lawyer, who, by the way, he waived attorney-client privilege, is telling his lawyer he doesn't have anything on Trump. Nothing. Nothing. So we'll see if Bragg is backing up. Is he looking for a way out? Can he blame Costello's testimony? Because this is going to sink him. Now, I'm somebody who has vision. I think outside the box. I create my own new box. I would not be shocked if there are a lot of back channels, discussions going on from Trump people through Democrats back to Bragg saying don't do this. And you know the person that I think would not shock me could be involved? This might shock you. Might shock you. Bill Clinton. Why? Because Bill Clinton's a New Yorker. Bill Clinton is a pure politician. He's the kind of guy, unlike Hillary and others, I could see Donald and somebody on Donald's behalf having a conversation with Bill and his behalf. But I would not be shocked if some of that's going on. All I know is if Bragg follows through with this, it's not going to be good because the base is going to rally. Along those lines, remember, we have an event at Boondocks out on US 42 at 7 o'clock tonight. Meanwhile, DeSantis, remember yesterday I said DeSantis is mishandling this? Well, DeSantis does come out and say something negative about the prosecution, but then he poo-poos it and acts like it's not a big deal. He's got more important things to do, and it was a bad look. So right when I thought maybe he was going to correct the problem, he has screwed it up. There would be nothing smarter for Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley to come out and say to Trump's defense on this. It would have been brilliant, but they didn't. Ted Lasso. Why do you have a comedian, Jason Sudeikis, and his team at a White House press conference trying to talk about mental illness? It went south quick. An African news reporter, disrupted big time. Good old Joe Biden has signed an order wanting everything to be released on the origin issue of COVID. We'll see if that really happens. Putin threatened to send a hypersonic missile yesterday to The Hague. I mean, jeez, oh Pete, scary stuff. James Comer says there's more to come on Hunter. Let's hope this doesn't become a Benghazi investigation. You know, I don't understand the love. Got his own Fox Sunday show now. South Carolina prosecutor was a congressman. Gowdy. I don't understand the love for Trey Gowdy. Trey Gowdy, in my opinion, is Boy Scout. You know, the way he handled Trump and everything else. He acts like he's Mr. Self-Righteous. You know, Trey Gowdy let the whole country down on the Benghazi investigation. Big time. I hope James Comer does better than Trey Gowdy did on Benghazi. Wyoming is the first state to ban the abortion pill. Xi announces he wants to stand guard over the world order. How you like that, America? We got the head of the Communist Party in China, our chief rival, saying he's ready to stand guard over the whole world. That includes us. We're part of the world. You ready for that? Last but not least, this Silicon Valley Bank gal, the risk manager, left a year before the crash after buying all the bonds that helped crash the bank with $7 million. Once again, what do I tell you? These people rise to these great levels, and they do it for no reason at all, no skill, no nothing. They wreak havoc. Like on Tucker Carlson said last night, he goes, you can wreck the country. You can wreck a bank. You can destroy whatever, like Biden does, all these people. But by golly, don't do a payoff to somebody to keep quiet like Stormy Daniels. You face prosecution. Like he said, it's criticizing the elite gets you in trouble. That's why I'm always in trouble, folks. I am poking the bear every day. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Bulldog TV Local News. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldog TV Local News. We're always sponsored by Drake Law. Same law firm, just changed its name. Parks Yoga, as well as check us out on all of our platforms. Well, our lead story, local news story, is this event, which is going to be held tonight at 7 o'clock out at Boondocks Pub and Grill out on US 42. This is right before you get to Richwood that goes to Big Bone, right on US 42. If you live around here, you know where it is. You can Google it's Boondocks. Let's fill the place up and let's pray, and then let's support Donald Trump. By the way, this is a peaceful rally at a place. We're not burning anything down. We're not threatening to burn anything down. I'm just giving an opportunity. By the way, I don't have time to organize these all around the state, so I'm doing one in my backyard the best I can. Encourage everybody else to do the same. I'll tell you one thing, I will be the only governor's candidate organizing a rally in support of Donald Trump. What does that tell you? All you Trump voters. I want all you Trump voters to know that I am the Trump candidate. All right, long crime. Former commander of the American Legion Post 744, Michael McGinnis, has been arrested for embezzlement. McGinnis stole nearly $100,000 from the group through bar sales, donations, and raffles he personally pocketed. An audit by a new employee revealed the misappropriation of funds. This is sad. I don't know. When this happens, I think, oh, it's awful, but I also wonder what's the underlying problem. Hopefully there's insurance. Hopefully it can get replaced. Former Madison Township trustee Alan Daniel has pleaded guilty to using his office to secure something of value. Daniel was originally charged with 3 felonies, which were dismissed for his guilty plea to the misdemeanor. The charges stem from Daniel's voting on zoning variances that benefited property owned by his son. By the way, how often could this be prosecuted? The University of Cumberland has reached a settlement that will cost the Kentucky school over $14 million. Grant Brace was a 20-year-old athlete who died from heat stroke after a practice in 2020. Brace had been heard multiple times begging for water as his team was taking part in a punishment practice. God, that's sad. Sad. Local news. 21 pedestrians have been involved in crashes around UC in the last 6 months. One of those pedestrians was killed. By the way, I tell everybody all the time, you should never walk as a pedestrian with traffic assuming they're not going to hit you. You should walk assuming they're going to hit you and be on guard. Monday evening, near UC's main campus, a group of students rallied to support pedestrian safety around the university. A recent survey by the London-based Skytrax company has ranked Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky as the second best regional airport. Wow. They've been ranked as high as one. Kentucky State News. Multiple rallies across the state of Kentucky were voicing their opinion on the new trans youth bill. Some bill additions include schools must form, bathroom policies, and teachers won't be required to address preferred pronouns. Thank God. Governor Beshear, of course, is expected to veto it, but then it'll get overridden. A Kentucky bill signed Monday will inject additional funding into rural hospitals struggling in the state. The new program will reduce payment gaps on Medicaid reimbursements and private health insurance payments to the hospital. In Ohio State news, some Ohioans are proposing an overhaul of the state's higher education system for colleges and university. If passed, the bill would affect how an instructor's personal political views should not influence a classroom. In sports, three-time Indiana State wrestling champion Mason Parris out of Lawrenceburg is now an NCAA champion. The current Michigan Wolverine won the heavyweight division, undefeated 33-0 season. Wow! Sounds like he's got a future in the Octagon or WWE or who knows. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, James Spindley in World News.
Hello, Bulldog Nation. Today's world news. An explosion earlier today in the north of Crimea has destroyed Russian missiles being transported by train. The attack was made by drones, Ukraine announced this morning. More than a dozen European member states have agreed to supplying Ukraine with at least 1 billion artillery shells over the next year. The plan, worth €2 billion in total, was agreed in Brussels yesterday. Ukraine needs at least 350,000 shells per month to hold back advancing Russian troops. The Colombian president has suspended a ceasefire with the country's main trafficking cartel, the Gulf Clan. President Pedro has accused the clan of breaking the ceasefire, blaming it for an attack on protests. The ceasefire was put into action on December the 31st, 2022 and lasted for almost 4 months. Parents whose children died or were injured by tainted cough syrup have wept with relief after an Indonesian court allowed a class action lawsuit. More than 200 Indonesian children died of acute kidney injury since 2022. The lawsuit seeks compensation of $195,000 for every child killed and around $130,000 for every child injured. And in sports, Roy Hodgson returns as Palace manager until the end of the season. Until tomorrow, have a fantastic day. Take care. Cheerio.